On July 23, 2013, the members and special guests of Colonial Country Club gathered to pay tribute to the club's 100th anniversary and to celebrate our history and a few great moments. Please join me for a glimpse of that evening. On hand for a book signing was Gene Pierce, author of the beautiful coffee table quality book recapping our 100-year history, Colonial, Home of Champions.
Gene Pierce, who's done a tremendous book, Colonial Home of Champions. I've got a copy, Gene. I can't tell you, as a former history teacher, history major, this is some great stuff. I think every single member needs a copy of this in their home. We've got the author here today ready to sign some books right here, and please come see Gene. Gene, just give us a minute or two about your experience writing this.
I was kind of blown away with the history of Colonial. I lived in Jackson most of my life, and so I was very familiar with Colonial, and I knew they had a great history. There's a long list of people from Colonial Country Club who won the Southern Amateur. We've been playing.
It's people like Spicer and Wittenberg, and it's amazing, isn't it?
Right. The first one was Jack Winsler. He was 16 years old when he won it, and he is still the youngest player ever to have won the tournament, and he would be like 110 years old now. Another unique things about Colonial is, this goes back from when Jack Winsler won the first state amateur, but he was the first Colonial player who won it, and so we've been playing this state amateur for almost 100 years now. And about 25 or 30, I'm guessing, it is in the book, Colonial members have won one or more Southern Amateurs. There is no other club that even comes close to that.
Colonial's head golf pro, David Hallford, shares a unique view and a special appreciation of our club.
The head pro at Colonial Country Club, David, storied history here in Memphis, from your high school days, your dad's connection, just your thoughts on the 100th birthday of Colonial Country Club.
Well, Nick, I'm really proud, first off, to be a part of this. I started working here in 1972, I believe, in that winter. I worked here until 1978. I came back as a member in '87 and was a member for 20 years, and then got a call in 2010. They asked me if I was interested in being the head pro, and I said, yeah, when can I start? So, I've got a lot of history at this club. My wife, my first date with my wife was at Colonial Country Club for the first year they had the tournament here. She had never been to a golf tournament before, and I brought her out here, and we will have been married 40 years next month. So a lot of fond memories there.
Well, that's really awesome. I know as a member and the other members here, everybody's excited that you're back here. What do you see moving forward to the next 100 years?
Well, I think the club definitely, the club's changed a lot over the years. I mean, in the 70s, there was a lot more of a social club aspect to it, and that's changed simply over time. The tournament leaving and other things, it's affected it. But that being said, I can honestly say that in the 40 years that I've been involved with this club, both golf courses right now are probably in the best condition I've ever seen them at the same time. We've got, I know for a fact, the best golf facility in the area when you weigh everything into it, as far as the golf courses, the practice facilities. It's just an incredible place to be. And I hope that the members understand that, it's an honor to be a member here, a privilege.
Stroll through the Colonial Mansion with Bill Goodnight and Mary Virginia Horn and enjoy 100 years of history, memorabilia, and priceless artifacts.
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Mary Virginia Horn and Bill Goodnight. We're going to start with Mary Virginia. They've done an invaluable job of putting together this museum with memorabilia. Mary Virginia has worked tirelessly on this project.
We have an area that we devoted to Tim Jackson. He's probably the most famous amateur golfer, probably the best amateur golfer that's come out of Colonial since Curtis Person. He's just such an accomplished golfer, and Colonial is really, really, really proud to have him.
That's great, Mary Virginia. What do we have here? What's in this case?
Well, what we tried to do was pull a few things from the past with some pictures, some memorabilia from member-type events. You know, like the Jake is a famous tournament here within Colonial. No one else knows about it, but that's our little secret.
And we're lucky enough to have the flag that Sean won the 2003 PGA Championship. All of us remember he stoned that shot from like 176 yards. Just stoned it. So we have that. We also have a picture of our second clubhouse. This shot here is actually the back of the clubhouse. All you had to do is just walk out the steps and you're on the first tee. Over here we have a bag Sean donated to the club. You can usually see this bag in the men's grill along with the flag. We usually display it there. But
it's a standby for the members.
That's right. Moving along, we have a nice collection of trophies here from Loren Roberts. Loren was nice enough to bring us the Charles Schwab Cup, Senior British Open Championship, the Claret Jug.
The Claret Jug from the Senior British Open. That's unbelievable.
It's a beautiful trophy.
We're going back to Mary Virginia now and talk about Curtis Person.
This is a senior amateur, the Southern Amateur Trophy that he won himself. And when we devoted a golf tournament here, a member tournament to Curtis, we used his name, so therefore we were so lucky to get a hold of one of these trophies.
Shot heard around the world, President Gerald Ford. We have the plaque on number 5. Everybody goes by it and admires it. Guyberger shot 59 in 1977, that same year that President Ford hit the hole-in-one. We have a club displayed here from President Ford. Glove signed by Mr. 59 Al Guyberger. President Ford signed what used to be a placemat in the men's grill. This trophy was given to the winner of the Memphis Invitational, Memphis Open from 1958 to 1988, which was played at Colonial Country Club.
We devoted this area to the Danny Thomas, the Memphis St. Jude, whatever. It's changed names so many times, but if you'll look through here, we've got tickets all the way back from 1959, I believe, all the way up to 88, which was our last year here. This is a collage of some old pictures. Most of them came from the old site, and those were hard to find, but we're just, really thrilled to have them.
Nick, these scrapbooks are on loan from us, from the guys at the FedEx St. Jude Golf Tournament. We want to thank them for loaning these to us for tonight's event.
Wow.
These scrapbooks go back to our beginning in 1958 with the golf tournament, and they end in 1988 with our last. These are priceless. This is all of the history of Colonial Country Club during the tournament years.
Right.
This stuff is irreplaceable.
Well, people need to come by and just get a look at this while they're here for the next hour or two and check out the really fine work that Billy Goodnight and Mary Virginia Horn and their committee have done on this museum. Thank you so much, Billy.
Thank you.
Favorite son, Sean McGill, shares a few special moments.
Sean, welcome home. This is kind of a big day for us. 100 years to the day of Colonial's birthday. Your thoughts about that,
Well, I grew up here when Countrywood was kind of just in its infancy, I suppose, and I lived on the 4th green, and, there were certainly a lot of stories, a lot of great memories. I made my first hole-in-one on 5 when I was, I think, 17. I really enjoy the club. I've always enjoyed the challenge of it. It still really can hold its own. I think that if they moved, they moved the FedEx back here, I think it would really put up a big fight. But I think this is pretty incredible, really, to come out here and kind of celebrate with everyone the 100 years. Now, I don't know the Colonial from prior to here, but I do know some of the stories and some of the history that goes along. And hey, we had some great people here: Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino and Gary Player, and been a lot of great names on the trophy. And what Al did in '77 is pretty special. I think my fond memories of Colonial and being chased off the course by Jim Thomas as a young non-member when I was 11 years old and 12 years old. He used to drive a red truck, and I would see it all the time, and whenever I would see it, I would just kind of quietly walk off the green. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that I was asked to come.
Thanks so much for being part of our birthday celebration, Sean.
Happy birthday, dear Colonial. Happy birthday to you. The cutting of the 100th anniversary birthday cake. Happy birthday, Colonial Country Club.
A valued member since 1950, Jimmy Wittenberg Sr. shares a look at his Colonial.
It's hard to believe, but 100 years ago today, Colonial was started on this exact date. It's our birthday. You're kind of the esteemed elder statesman of this club. Give us just your thoughts on this celebration.
Oh, it's just outstanding. Now, this party tonight will go down in a lot of folks' mind as quite memorable, and especially Betty and myself. We've been to Colonial since 1950. And then when we were down on Southern Avenue.
That's the year I was born, by the way.
It's always been a good club, a fun club. And, we had a lot of good golfers. I'm very fortunate to have been involved in that group, I guess. I told Don when he asked me to kind of get involved in this thing, I said, the only reason you're asking me is I've outlived all the rest of them. It's real nice, and I feel very honored that they've done what they've done.
Well, you're a legend in this club, and God bless you, and happy birthday to us all.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
With 8 PGA Tour wins and 13 Champions Tour wins, Loren Roberts shares some of his personal feelings about Colonial Country Club.
Loren, thanks so much for being here on the exact 100th birthday of Colonial. This place was started 100 years ago today. Your thoughts about what Colonial means to you?
Well, Colonial is the whole reason I'm really in Memphis, to be honest with you. I met a guy here back in 1983. He didn't know me. I didn't know him. My second year on tour. I got private housing, Frank Brown. I think he was one of your club champions here. He became my father. I moved here. Colonial in 1984 had a chance to win the tournament. I was going to the last round with the lead. Unfortunately didn't win, but it was the first tournament that I really was in contention in the tour and had a chance to, and it kind of lit my fire and got my career going. So I really kind of owe a lot of my career, in fact, most of my career, really to my associations that I got here in Memphis, and obviously it was through Colonial because that's where my friends were members. The South Course is all you want. I mean, the greens get quick over there. You've still got plenty of length. I mean, this was at 7,200 and something back in the 70s. It was the longest course we played on tour. Okay. And that's why the 59 by Guyberger is unbelievable, because it was the longest course on tour at that particular time. And this golf course the South Course has everything that you want. You got to hit every shot good if you're going to put up a score there.
Well, I understand that Guyberger hit every green here and only took 23 putts. Is that incredible?
Yeah, that seems to add up to 59, doesn't it? 100-year anniversary. I mean, that's something to really be proud of. And, keep working on the next 100 years. I mean, golf is a game that everybody can play and everybody enjoys. And obviously, I'm passionate about the game, and I know a lot of your Colonial members are. So happy birthday, Colonial.
Thank you, Loren. You're a credit to the game, and you're a credit to Colonial.
Colonial Country Club is an entity that we should all jump in and take part in as members. The more we pull together, the more we see of what happens from 100 years of history, and what goes on here tonight 400 people coming together to enjoy Colonial Country Club. I've got to say to you, thank you for the opportunity to chair the Colonial Year Centennial Celebration. I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you and good night.
Thanks so much, everybody, for coming tonight. Happy birthday to Colonial. Happy birthday to us.